Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the thoracic vertebrae. Before discussing the thoracic vertebra, we will discuss what are the general features of the vertebra. The vertebral column is made up by the 33 vertebrae and intervertebral disc. So these are the 7 cervical vertebrae, then 12 thoracic vertebrae, 5 lumbar vertebrae, 5 sacral vertebrae and 4 coccygeal vertebrae. So if you see a vertebra, this is the lumbar vertebra. Okay. So if you see a vertebra, we will have the two parts mainly, the body and the vertebral arch. Okay. The body and vertebral arch. These two are separated by the vertebral foramen. Okay. These two are separated by the vertebral foramen. Okay. The vertebral foramen transmits the spinal cord and its coverings. Those are the meninges. Okay. Next, coming to the body, transverse process, pair of transverse process, pair of superior articular process, and pair of inferior articular process and spinous process. Okay. Pair of transverse process, pair of superior articular process, pair of inferior articular process and one spinous process. Okay. So these are forms the vertebral arch. First we will discuss the pedicles. Okay. So the pedicles are nothing but these are the bony bars which are extends from the posterolateral aspect of the body. Okay. Which are the bony bars which are extends from the posterolateral aspect of the body. Almost midway between the upper and lower surface of the body. Okay, they are extending posterolaterally. Okay, so the pedicles forms the superior and inferior vertebral foramina. Okay, superior, if you view from the side, you can see the notches. Okay, superior and inferior vertebral notches. Okay, superior and inferior vertebral notches. If you join these two vertebrae, you can see the intervertebral foramen here. Okay, intervertebral foramen. Okay, so the superior vertebral notch and inferior vertebral notch both are joined and forms the intervertebral foramen. These intervertebral foramens transmits the spinal nerves. Okay. Next, coming to the laminas. Okay, these are laminas. Okay, so laminas are the bony bars which are extends from the dorsal end of the pedicles. Okay, from the dorsal end of pedicles we will have the bony bars which are extends downwards and medially. Okay, these are called as laminas. Okay, so both the sides of laminas are joined and forms the spinous process. Okay, spinous process. Next, coming to the transverse process. Okay, so this is pedicle, these are the laminas, is it not? So between the junction of the pedicle and the laminas, laterally we will have the extensions, bony extensions. These are called as transverse process. Okay, from the junction of pedicles and laminas we will have the bony bars. These are the transverse process. Next, coming to the superior and inferior articular process. Superior and inferior articular process. If you see the superior articular process, these are also processes which are extends upwards from the junction of pedicles and the laminas. Is it now? So here for the superior articular process we will have the facets. Facets. Okay. So these are directed posterolaterally. Okay. Posterolaterally. Then you can see the inferior articular process. Inferior articular process. Okay. So these are directed anterolaterally. These are directed anterolaterally. That is about the vertebral arch. Okay. The vertebral arches consist of pedicles, laminas, transverse process, superior and inferior articular process and the spinous process. So these are the features of the general features of the any vertebra. So for any vertebra we will have the body anteriorly, then we will have the vertebral foramen, then we will have the vertebral arch. Okay. Now we will discuss the thoracic vertebra. Okay. So in the thoracic region of vertebral column we will have the 12 thoracic vertebrae are there. 2nd to 8th thoracic vertebrae are called as typical thoracic vertebrae because of the common features. The first 9th to 12th they have the special features, that's why they are called as atypical thoracic vertebrae. Okay. Now we will discuss the typical thoracic vertebra. Okay. So for any vertebra we will have the body and the vertebral arches there. How to identify these thoracic vertebra? Okay. So for thoracic vertebra we will have the costal facets on the sides. On the sides of the body we will have the costal facets on the both the sides. Okay. Costal facets on the body and the costal facet on the transverse process. Okay. These are the identification features for the thoracic vertebra. Costal facets on the body and the costal facet on the transverse process of the vertebra. These are the identification features for the thoracic vertebra. Now coming to the body of the typical thoracic vertebra. So the body is heart shaped here. Okay, the body is heart shaped since the anteroposterior and the transverse diameters are both are same. Okay, and the body of the T3 vertebra is small. Okay, and the T4 vertebra the body is heart shaped. The T5 to T8 the body of thoracic vertebra is asymmetrical because of the pressure of the descending thoracic aorta on the left side. That's why T5 to T8 thoracic vertebra's bodies are asymmetrical. Okay, that is about the body. Next coming to the costal demifacets. I already mentioned the thoracic vertebra is identified by the presence of costal facets on the both the sides of the body. If you see on the side, you can see the costal facets, demifacets along the near the upper border and the lower border of this body. You can see clearly here and here. Okay, the upper one is larger compared to the lower one. The lower one is smaller. Okay, so the upper one is articulates with the articular facet of the head of the numerically corresponding rib. Okay, the lower one is articulates with the smaller articular facet of the head of the lower rib. Okay, so we are already discussed in the ribs class. So the head consists of two articular facets. Above one is smaller, lower one is larger. But these two are separated by a crust. Is it now? So we will articulate these rib with the vertebrae. We will see now. Here you can see if we articulate these vertebra, you can see the lower costal facet on this upper vertebrae. This is smaller. Here the lower vertebrae, the upper facet is larger. So if you articulate these two, these are articulated like this. So the smaller one is articulates with the lower one, the larger one is articulates with the numerically corresponding vertebrae and forms this costovertebral joint, which is plain synovial. Next coming to the vertebral foramen. Here the vertebral foramen is smaller and circular. Okay, because in this region the spinal cord does not have any enlargements. So that's why here it is smaller and circular, vertebral foramen. Next coming to these pedicles. Okay, so the pedicles are nothing but these are the bony bars which are extends from the posterior lateral aspect of the body. Here the pedicles are smaller and thicker. Okay, smaller and thicker. Okay. Next, coming to the thoracic vertebra, the superior vertebral notch is ill-defined except in the first thoracic vertebra. Okay, the inferior vertebral notch is prominent. Okay, if you see the lumbar vertebra here, you can clearly make out the superior vertebral notch and the inferior vertebral notch. Here both are well defined. But if you see the thoracic vertebra, the superior vertebral notch is ill-defined and inferior one is well defined. So the intervertebral foraminasa transmits the corresponding spinal nerves except the first. Next, coming to the laminas. Here you can see the laminas. Here these are flat and thinner. Okay. In thoracic vertebra, these are flat and thinner, which are extends from the dorsal end of the pedicles. Okay. Here both the laminas are joined and forms the spinal process. Okay. So the adjacent laminas are connected by the fibro elastic membrane. It is called as ligamentum flarum. Okay. Next, coming to the transverse process. Okay. So these are extends laterally. If you see the anterior surface of this transverse process, you can see the costal facet here near to the tip. Okay. This costal facet is articulates with the articular facet on the tubercle of numerically corresponding rib. Okay. Now we are articulating the. Here you can see the costal facet, costal facet on the transverse process. This costal facet is articulates with the articular facet of the tubercle of the numerically corresponding rib. Okay, these are articulated like this and forms the costo-transverse joint, which is also plain synovial. In upper 6 thoracic vertebrae, these costal facets are concave and they are directed anterolaterally. Okay, they are directed anterolaterally. These costal facets in upper 6 thoracic vertebrae. Next up to 10th thoracic vertebra, these costal facets are flat. Okay, and they are directed upwards, forwards and medially. Upwards, forwards and medially. In the lower 4. That means 8th, 9th, 10th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th thoracic vertebrae. Okay. Now coming to what are the attachments to these transverse process of these thoracic vertebrae. Okay. The tip of the thoracic vertebrae is connected to the non-articular part of the numerically corresponding rib by the ligament. It is called as lateral costo-transverse ligament. Okay. Tip of the transverse process is connected to the non-articular part of the tubercle of the rib by the lateral costo-transverse ligament. Okay. And the anterior surface of the transverse process is joins with the posterior surface of the neck of the numerically corresponding by the inferior costo-transverse ligament. The lower border of this transverse process is connected to the upper border of the lower rib, connected by the superior costo-transverse ligament. Okay, these are the 3 ligaments which attaches the transverse process with the rib. Next, coming to the superior articular process and inferior articular process. If you see the superior articular facets, these are directed posterolaterally. These are directed posterolaterally, is it no? And if you see from above, these 2 processes forms the arc of a circle. Arc of a circle. These are the inferior articular process, inferior vertebral process. This articular process, these are directed anteromedially here. If you articulate both the vertebrae, you can see the vertebral foraminers. Okay, intervertebral foraminers. Okay. Next, coming to the spinous process. Okay, both the laminas are joined and form the spinous process. This spinous process provides attachment for the interspinous ligaments, supraspinous ligaments, and also gives origin for the rhomboids major, rhomboids minor, serratus posterior superior, serratus posterior inferior, and erector spinae muscles.